Hey everyone, thanks for clicking. This is Rocky and I hope all is going well. Alright, this video is going to be my top moments from episode 11 of season 3 of Marvel's Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. Let's go and jump right in. Top moment number 10, fish pills for everyone. You just knew someone was going to try some of those fish pills, and it turns out to be Hunter. Though sadly he is not an Inhuman, and while Bobby says she thought about it, but I'm pretty sure she gave it a go as well. Mac's reaction to this was great as he had the total what the frack face. I really enjoyed the scene as it reminded me of season 2 when these characters were first introduced and had such a fun and friendly feel to it. Please, more scenes like this. Number 9, I'm hungry. Alright, going to admit that for a moment I thought Hive was going to absorb all the Inhumans he could find, but instead he goes for some raw meat. It seems they might be playing the angle that Hive can repair at least some, if not all of the damage to Ward's body. In the comics, when Hive took over Viper's corpse, it did heal some of her bullet wounds, so there is some precedence for that. Though I'm still hopeful that Hive will be weakened due to the damage to Ward's chest. Top moment number 8, Strucker is alive. Okay. Not the one wiped out by Ultron, but the young Werner is alive, but in a vegetative state. So Coulson decides to put him in the mind machine previously seen in season 1 and 2. So yeah, it's still around. Everyone, including Coulson, is uncomfortable using it, as he implies the experience was worse than losing his hand. The main reason I enjoyed this is I felt it kind of humanized Coulson for Lincoln, and let him know that Coulson does not always enjoy or like what he has to do. In this case, thanks to Lincoln and his powers, the team gets some information on Gideon. Number 7, you will believe. This is definitely an interesting take on Hive. In particular, I like how Brett Dalton has changed his tone and cadence from his traditional Ward lines, and I hope this is something that is continued. Hive's lines about believing kind of reminded me of Red Skull from Captain America after he found the Tesseract. In the closing scene where he extends his hand, I think he's possibly releasing some form of airborne spores that will allow him to have some control over others, and quite possibly only Inhumans. As he tells Gideon, you will believe when he believes, referencing Gaira. Like I mentioned in my Hive video, it was able to shoot off parasitic tendrils in the comics as a weapon and a way of controlling people, so it seems to be a possible twist and more cost-effective spin and use of this power. Number 6, the powers are not random. So we kind of had this running idea about the Inhuman gifts not being random but meant to keep a balance, along with an idea of divine design, and I really like this. For me, the idea is coming from a few sources, as in the comics there was a prophecy that an Inhuman would rise up to destroy the leader of the Kree, which is one of the reasons they stopped the experiments. Then there's the idea of mutants, as part of their origin in the Marvel Universe is that the X gene was created in part by the Celestials, which we saw in Guardians of the Galaxy briefly, with the intent that they would protect the Celestial seed at Earth's core. There's also the idea of the Rising Stars comic, in which a meteor struck the Earth and gave a number of children powers, and it was discovered in the comics that the powers were meant to be used in concert to create a better world for everyone. But as people don't always like to work together, this did not actually work out too well. So in my eyes, the show might be borrowing themes from these different sources, which is fine as it's adding a lot of depth to the show and the lore of the Inhumans as it is in the cinematic universe. Top moment number 5, meet Gorgon. Alright, so even though he's not been officially named, the Inhuman police officer definitely seems to be based on the Gorgon from the comics. The Gorgon had the ability to turn people to stone with the look of his eyes, as well as he had a super intellect. He had some other abilities as well due to training as well as dark magic, but I'm pretty sure the show's just going to focus on the gaze, as he's an Inhuman as opposed to a mutant like he was in the comics. The actor had great presence, but did not really have any lines, so it's kind of hard to judge his complete performance. We see him taken by Hydra, which is fine as the character was heavily involved with them in the comics, and I get the feeling he might just become a replacement for Gaira. Number 4, Face to Face. We finally get to see the president, and yes, this was the same President Ellis from the big screen movies. So now we have S.h.i.e.L.D. being known to exist by the president, but not publicly acknowledged. This is huge as it builds the connection back into the cinematic universe. Also, we get mention of world leaders dealing with Inhumans, so I think we're going to see a larger world here soon open up on the show. Meaning that in the comics there are loads of characters and even teams from other countries, so I'm hoping we're going to see some of that on the show itself. Plus, with the ATCU being the front for S.h.i.e.L.D., it will mean more resources and manpower for Director Coulson. Plus he gets the boss Talbot around, so you know that's going to be great. Top moment number 3, 3 months from now. Okay, so just going to get this out of the way. Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. kind of pulled an Arrow this episode. For those that don't watch, during Arrow's season premiere, we got a time jump of a few months and Oliver talking to a grave, but we never see a name on the tombstone itself. So this whole season people have been trying to guess who is in the grave. Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. shows us a Quinjet floating in space, a cross necklace, an injured agent, and then an explosion. It's implied that the agent is Elena, aka YoYo, but we don't actually know for sure. What I'm really hoping this is alluding to is the possible formation of S.h.i.e.L.D., which is something I've been wanting to see since Guardians of the Galaxy. In the comics, S.h.i.e.L.D. was a sort of offshoot or sister to S.h.i.e.L.D. that dealt with alien threats. This is a direction I really want to see the show go, but I have been wrong in the past. So what's your take on this scene? Who do you think was in that Quinjet? Number 2, YoYo and Max sitting in a tree. I really enjoyed the introduction of Elena Rodriguez, as she exuded confidence, which is not something we have seen from a new Inhuman yet. She has strong faith in God and initially believes her gift was given by God. Mac corrects her, but by the end, he seems to come around and thinks that maybe, just maybe, the Inhumans have powers for a reason. They did a great job of explaining her power, as she's able to move at super speed, but is limited that she can only move the distance of a single heartbeat and then returns to her original position. This is very close to the comics, but I don't think she had the heartbeat limitation. I think she's a great addition to the cast and hope that both her and Joey become regular cast members next season. As a side note, I hope she does not end up losing both arms like her comic counterpart. I think we have lost enough limbs on this show, don't you? Number 1 top moment of the episode. Secret Warriors go! Not only did we get some great Secret Warrior action, but we got to see them working hand in hand with Mac, Hunter, and Bobby, which I honestly geeked out on quite a bit. This is what I have been waiting for, is seeing the Secret Warriors as a legit extension of S.h.i.e.L.D. and being respected. They put a mission plan together to save Bobby and Hunter, and it is performed near flawlessly. Joey has really grown with his powers, and the scene where he melts the metal from Gorgon's sunglasses to his eyes was just awesome. Pretty sure I yelled out, "Hell yeah!" YoYo fit right in, and Daisy's reactions were brilliant as she appeared to genuinely be in awe of her speed. Speaking of Daisy, how great was it seeing her bust out her Mahone fighting skills and then the next second blasting with her Quake Waves. This was something I really wanted to see last season, and I could not be happier with her character's development. This is still just the beginning though, as we will definitely see the Secret Warriors expand, and we will see different groupings which kind of mimics the changes we have seen and will continue to see with the Avengers lineup. Okay, so my final thoughts on the episode. I felt this was a pretty solid return for Season 3, and in particular, I think the introductions of the new characters was handled well. YoYo was awesome, and I'm really hoping we see a lot more of her, and Joey as well. I have mixed feelings when it comes to the 3-month time jump tease, as like I said, it was previously done on Arrow, and also gets my hopes up once again for S.h.i.e.L.D. Writers, please don't let me down. At first I thought the lack of Lash was surprising, but with the amount of characters in this episode, and in particular Hive, it made sense to keep him out, though he did get a slight mention. I imagine we will be seeing him again by the season finale. The show is really taking their time with setting up the Inhumans as well as Secret Warriors, and we're finally seeing that payoff. The Season 2 finale was huge, and I cannot imagine how they might try and top it with the Season 3 finale. Oh yeah, and they have been approved for Season 4, so things are looking up for our Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. Alright everyone, those are my thoughts on episode 11 of Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. Go and let me know your thoughts down below. Or if you have any questions on the episode or characters, go and put those down in the comments below as well. I'd love to have some conversations with you guys. As always, if you take a look at your screen, I've got a couple links for you to follow there. And those same links are provided in the interactive card on the top right of the screen, as well as down in the description below. And I just want to say thanks sincerely for checking out my videos, and for those of you that have thrown a like on a video or subscribed to the channel, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it, and I hope you guys have been enjoying the videos. With all that being said, have a great rest of your day now, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.